the best game of the season. I'm going to go ahead and call this an instant classic.
Go on.
Kyle Brandt, Game of the Year potential.
Clubhouse leader for Game of the Year after Week 1. Try to beat that.
This is Good Morning Football. We are live in New York City. It is Tuesday, September 10th. My name's Kay Adams, Nate Burleson, Perter Schrager, Kyle Brandt, all here and all here for those highlights.
Last night was crazy, Kay.
Yeah, we're going to get to Texans and Saints, but we also want to show you the late night highlights. We had the Raiders and the Broncos.
As he should celebrate everybody in Oakland. I see you. Yeah, area, stand up. The Raiders win 24-16. Hey, Derek Carr, how did that win feel?
When I woke up this morning, came into the stadium, and I saw that gold patch, that gold C on the Raider jersey, saw my name on it, already knew this is the last time we'll play the Broncos in the state Monday night. Like, I had a tear in my eye for the first time, during football, right? A lot of people like to say I cried last year. We won't talk about that, right? But I really did. This means so much to me.
Extracurriculars with everything. 30-28 New Orleans. Let's catch our breath. I'm doing the smelling
job,
salt.
Kyle.
Drew Brees, talk about that game-winning drive. Legend.
For all of us just to get back into that situation where we had a chance to win the game, I think we all felt like it was going to happen. And the minute you heard that ball go off his foot, it was a thundering kick. I think we all knew it was going through the uprights.
It happens all the time, but it's still so exciting. Since 1960, guys, Drew Brees has the second most game-winning drives with 49, behind only Peyton Manning. This was an epic game. If you told me that we watched our Super Bowl preview last night in Week 1, Texans Saints, I would not be disappointed. Shrags, what'd you think?
Two awesome quarterbacks, two amazing teams, and such drama. What I do want to take away from this one is that the Saints finally got one of these. You think about the Minneapolis Miracle, one of the craziest losses we've ever seen. Then last year with that non-pass interference call, even in this game, Kay, you had the odd runoff of the clock before the half. You had all the fans wearing referees.
Did it mean something that the runoff clock situation happened? They came back, rallied, got over it, and didn't let it get them down? Because they've got the Rams on the docket next week.
Yes, they do. And if you had all off-season coming off last year's loss and you lost this way Week 1, it's almost like you look to the clouds and say, what did we do wrong? Can we get one of these here? Drew Brees finds a way. Will Lutz finds a way. But that Texans defense, come on.
As amazing as that game was, and Kyle, well done on those highlights, we didn't even show Alvin Kamara.
I know.
And he was phenomenal. He only had 13 rushes for 97 yards, but he added on like a wide receiver. He runs like a physical back, and he also is as strong as a linebacker. Alvin Kamara, without him playing in that moment the way that he did, the Saints don't win this game. We'll credit Drew Brees because he was phenomenal in the moments that mattered at the end, but in between, it was Alvin Kamara that held this team down.
I'm just emotionally hungover from that game. We had a long offseason here, guys. That is exactly what we needed. And, the city's buzzing a little bit today because last night Stone Cold made his return to Madison Square Garden. It was a big deal. This game to me last night felt like your classic tag team. And it was Brees and Michael Thomas, we also didn't mention, had 10 catches. And it was Watson and Hopkins. This might have been the Rockers versus the Hart Foundation. Back and forth, back and forth. These two wide receivers put on a show. And I especially want to credit Watson. The last time we saw Deshaun Watson in a game, he had a lot of questions raised about him. Wasn't clutch, celebrations weren't cool. That loss to the Colts in the playoffs, we were all at NFL honors. Steve Harvey is up there making jokes about Deshaun Watson, how he wasn't cool, the celebration was way over the line. He was awesome in this game. This, to me, was like his latest NFL version of Clemson versus Alabama. I know Brees has it. I know Thomas. I know Nuke has it. Deshaun Watson has it. Great effort and a loss.
All offseason long, we're talking about which offense is going to be the best. Is it the Chiefs? Is it the Rams? I maintain that it's the Saints. I don't think people are understanding. Maybe they do after last night. And Shriggs, you were all over this. They've gotten better, which is a scary thought if you're any defensive player or defensive mind in the league, because they don't only have the guys you're talking about. They don't only have Michael Thomas and Drew Brees, and they don't only have Alvin Kamara, who's been a star since hitting the field as a rookie. They have Ted Ginn healthy. He missed 11 games last year. Just his presence being on the field is something, but he had a 100-yard game yesterday. Traquan Smith scored a touchdown. You had Jared Cook out there, even just his presence. This is now a supporting cast. Credit to Michael Thomas for being able to do what he did as a #1 wide receiver without much help. But this offense is the best in the league right now.
Could very well be.
Oh, that's a strong statement right there.
It is. Up next, Nate, you've got a couple strong statements because we put you. This is going to fly this season. It's the NFL 100. There's a lot of historical elements involved and celebratory stuff. We have to really be in the present, guys, and make a pact that we're going to enjoy every moment as it happens.
Okay, I'm into it.
It's already week 2.
No doubt.
I know, I'm already thinking about McCaffrey.
That makes me sad. Well, the Christian McCaffrey of Good Morning Football is in Culver City.
Oh, yeah. Do everything.
Holds it all together. The star, Will Selva. Hey, Will.
All right. Hey, I appreciate that, Kay. And guys, that is quite an entrance there. The Jaguars needed more production under center and felt like they could get it from Nick Foles. Well, Jacksonville tasted a morsel of success after the first touchdown drive against the Chiefs on Sunday, but we'll have to deal with the hunger until November. That's so fascinating to see how this all unfolds there in Foxborough. Kay and guys, Brown posting a photo on Snapchat of him and Brady, which was posted hours after the Patriots crushed the Steelers. And thus, it begins.
It certainly does. They've got a trip down to Miami to face the Dolphins. Never easy to get a win down there, but we hopefully will see Antonio Brown. Will check in with you there on the West Coast in a little bit. There's something about the fit that still is a really interesting headline for me. I think we know what it'll do to this offense, Schrags, but there's a thing called the Patriot way. And when I think about what that means, it means team first, team above individual. Antonio Brown has not shown us that that's the way he vibes. And then you think about things like working really hard, and he does fit that. He's probably the hardest worker in that locker room. So how's he going to fit?
Is he a good teammate? And was that Raiders stuff an apparition? Was the Week 17 deal with the Steelers a one-time deal? Because from what you hear out of Oakland, this was unprecedented. Now all the stories are coming out. I'm hearing from everybody.
Yeah,
I mean, terrible in these meetings. Kind of deal where he would just mail in a practice, like really bad. And it just shows how amazing that Patriot way is, that he can get these guys to buy in. We now have 2 different franchises in 5 months that he has completely burned bridges with, and of 2 different fan bases that he has torched to the point where they're booing him on Monday Night Football, and he never played a regular season game with them.
He quit on 2 teams.
He's quit on 2 teams. And if there's one thing with Belichick, it's commitment to the excellence and a commitment to the team. I'm going to pass and wait on judgment, just like Tom Brady appears to be doing as well.
This is not a football conversation, right? It's almost like a psychology, personality conversation. So I look at history. In 1995, in the middle of a dynasty, Phil Jackson traded for a power forward from southeastern Oklahoma State named Dennis Rodman. Guy was from another planet, completely eccentric, couldn't fit in with the Spurs of all programs. Came in, championships, nailed it. They had a couple things going for him with the Bulls. You had an alpha, who was Michael Jordan, who would check him whenever he needed it. The Patriots have that. And you had a whisperer, a man by the name of Jack Haley, who would go to Rodman and calm him down and was his friend. I think Julian Edelman is the Jack Haley, and I'll tell you why. He's already planting the seeds. Last night, I don't know if it was last night or yesterday, Edelman on Instagram posted a picture of he and AB, I think at the Grammys, and he hashtagged it Wesley and Woody, which is an incredible, incredible thing. I know what he's saying. One guy's black, one guy's white, they're best friends. The question is a white man can't jump, or is it Money Train? Because there's going to be one thing. Never mind the not showing up at practice. One of these screaming sideline tirades where he's throwing cool, that they don't do that in New England. Tom Brady's done. He's been there 20 years and do whatever he wants. One of them, and that might be a wrap. But just watch. They got the Haley and they got the Jordan, and I think it's going to work.
You see it working?
I do.
Yeah.
He's too good. The Patriots are too soft. I think it's going to work.
Belichick. I don't think you ever hear, and this is no disrespect to Mike Mayock, but you're never going to hear that out of Belichick. It's never going to come to a point with him. This is a team that just gets rid of guys if it doesn't work out quietly, and there's a lot of ins and outs and guys coming and guys leaving. I don't think it's going to get to a media scrum with Belichick saying, are you all in or are you all out? It'll just be over.
Well, there's been a few guys that were notable signings. Of course, everybody wants to talk about Randy Moss. This is a different situation. Randy Moss, when he showed up as a New England Patriot, he was ready to work. There wasn't much drama, and we all know that fantastic season that he had with 20-plus touchdowns.
Yeah,
Josh
Randy
Gordon
Moss didn't have a YouTube channel at the time.
I know.
You know
That's what I'm saying. That's
Very different.
That's why they were completely different situations. Josh Gordon, who had moments as he flourished as a wide receiver previous to being a Patriot, but even when he faltered off the field, the Patriots said, listen, we have to let you go, and we're going to let you walk away. Corey Dillon comes to mind, who was an individual who's from Seattle, one of my close friends, and everybody said, nah, he's a troublemaker, he's kind of a hothead, it just won't work. He was great as a Patriot.
1,600 yards.
He was a monster. But with all that said, I do feel like what Tom Brady is saying, he's saying, the QB receiver relationship is so important. So the more we know each other, the more we trust each other, the better it's going to be. It seems like it could be a little bit of shade thrown at Big Ben, but I don't think it is. And it's definitely not shade thrown at Derek Carr, because Derek Carr tried. Like, they were hanging out at kids' birthday parties. They're in the foyer of his house, hugging and kissing each other. So they tried to make it work.
They tried? I know Derek Carr tried.
Derek Carr tried. I will say this. I hear Tom Brady saying, I'm going to try like hell to make this work. You know, right out the gate, if he's saying this is important, trust needs to be earned, and if we know each other, this will work.
Does he need that on his plate, though? Like, why? Does Brady need this?
Brady, yes, he needs it.
The juice is worth the squeeze.
You know why he needs it?
Is he so much better than guys like Albert Hainsworth and Chad Johnson and all the other guys that they brought in? He is. He's tremendous talent.
The juice is worth the
squeeze. Is he on this team? Let's just put this like this. Nate, is he on this team in Week 10?
Yeah.
Is he on this team?
You know why Brady's going to make it worse?
First playoff game, they got the first round bye. It's in Foxborough. Is he on the team?
I think he's going to have like 12 touchdowns. Like, I'm going high end on this. He's so good. They're so smart. I'm into it.
I was down on this guy in March. I was down on this guy in April. I was down on this guy in May. A zebra does not change his stripes overnight. I want to be patient on this before we just say it's going to work. I'm going to just hold that thing right.
That's not a zebra, that's a thoroughbred.
It's almost like arrogance by the Patriots, thinking they can just change a guy or you know, to get him to change for a short period of time to use him and get the benefits of him. Or it's true brilliance in what they can accomplish. Like, it's going to be one or the other.
Look what they did with Randy. He broke a receiver record in touchdowns, and they let him walk away.
It's not lost on me. Dennis Rodman did headbutt a referee and kick a cameraman. So, I mean, it went off the rails.
But he got 3 rings.
We've got highlights from Monday Night Football. We had a
gist of it. Unbelievable game.
Watson went toe-to-toe with Drew Brees. Quickly, Kyle, how impressed were you with Watson's performance?
Sean Watson's the man. You know, he took a lot of crap for the way he played in that playoff game last year. Peyton Manning, his first playoff game was terrible. It was his first ever scene.
Really cook something up. I'm in the kitchen, baby. I know everybody loves a top 5, right? But GMFB, we do things a little bit differently. So every week this season, I'm going to give you my top 5 across the league. I'm talking about the best teams in the league. And I'll let these guys here at the table and you at home battle it out. So it's a little fight my 5. Now, if it gets a little crazy throughout the season, I might actually pass the rock and see if somebody else at the table wants to take it.
No mas.
But let's go ahead and start this thing off. At number 5, the 5th best team in the NFL, the Baltimore Ravens. Yes, 59 points they put up. I can talk all day long, but let's hear from the starting QB.
Listen, you were going through the ball. Do you think you maybe proved to people that you were throwing the ball?
Probably not, but not bad for a running back.
Not bad for a running back. All you guys thought he was going to do is just run all offseason. We're going to run. And what happens? 5 touchdowns, franchise record. 5 TDs. He's doing his thing, balling out. I'm telling you, my guy is an absolute beast. All right, so that's number 5. Number 4, the New Orleans Saints. I was waiting to see what was going to happen last night. I made this list, and I said, let's put him at number 4. It was a close game, hard-fought battle. But this play says it all. Kyle said it best when he read the highlight. Lutz went nuts. Listen, 57 yards was his longest. It was 58. I'm sitting at home in my bed like, damn, I need to get to bed, but I got to see the end of this game. And boom, he nailed it. Could have hit it from 62. All right, so number 3. The Dallas Cowboys.
Wow.
How about those Cowboys? And I don't have any sound, but I do have a visual I want you to look at, though. My guy, Dak Prescott, was playing at such a high... Jerry should have paid me. He should have paid me what I asked for. Now, my price just went up. All right, let's go to number 2. Whew, this could be the best team in all of football.
Well, they're not your number 1.
The best offenses. That's what I said. It could be Schrager. At number 2, the Kansas City Chiefs.
All right.
Yes, I love what the Chiefs have done. Even if Tyreek Hill was on the sideline, listen, let me give you one of the best wide receivers in the league, at least statistically, from week 1.
Usually, you know, I don't get the ball, but somehow Pat looked at me and I looked at him and I caught it and, you know, just ran fast as I could and it felt great.
For kids at home, it's just that simple. You look at the quarterback, he looks at you, he throws in the ball, you run as fast as you can, and it's going to feel good. So, yes, Sammy Watkins, who earlier this summer said, I'm around a 4.2, 4.3, and we were like, Now, you know what, Sammy? Hey, you right, fam. You look pretty damn fast. All right, number 1. The defending champs, the New England Patriots. Listen, I don't have a sock. I don't have a picture. I don't have a clip. I don't have anything. All I have is the Patriots whooping up on the Steelers. You remember previous to this game, we're like, you know what? It's time the Steelers got to step up. Mike Tomlin, he knows about the record and playing against Steelers. He knows about it. And forget about that. The Steelers got whooped just like they always do when they go to Foxborough. So, the Patriots, my number one team, not to mention, they get Antonio back. So, yeah, that's why they're my number one team. All right, guys, what do you have to say? Fight my 5.
Nate, there's a thing emerging right now, a debate in the NFC East about who's the best team in that division.
Yeah.
You made a very clear answer because I don't know if I don't see so good right now. I don't see a green logo with wings on it from Philadelphia.
Nope, don't see it.
Why Dallas so emphatically over Philly?
Kyle, you saw the same game I saw?
It was good.
It was convincing. It wasn't just good, it was convincing.
Yeah, it was great.
And because it was within the division, that was a message not just sent to the Giants, but to the rest of the teams within that division that were for real. And everybody played a role. That's why the game was so special. It wasn't just the offense. Dak Prescott played great, but also that defense. Those linebackers were flying around, getting after the QB. I feel like the Cowboys are a better team than the Eagles right now.
Sorry, dude. That's good. They're good. They're good.
The Rams went to the NFC Championship last year. They won that game. They went to the Super Bowl last year. And then this year they had to start the season against one of the best teams in the NFL in their building at 10 a.m. their time. And they can't find a spot on your Fight That 5 arbitrary list.
Yeah.
They don't get a SOT.
They don't get a SOT.
They don't get a SOT.
Football talk, Nate.
Yeah, football talk, TV talk. Listen, man, as much as I love the Rams, I hyped them up just like you did all offseason. I went and saw them firsthand in the
Coaches, all of that at GMFB, at Nate Burleson with the Fight My 5. He'll be updating his power rankings every week. We are 2 sleeps away from Thursday Night Football, Bucks and Panthers. And which NFL players in week 1 went from Bruce Banner